Alex here with a video on silencing your devices, both cell phone and laptops. This is not a joke video. This is something that I've seen pop up in hearings all the time. Even lawyers and even judges actually mess this up a little bit. And it's not anyone's fault. There's a bunch of bypasses on this that will cause your phone to still go off unless you know all of the different ways to make sure it doesn't go off. So obviously you're gonna drop volume to zero, and I think most people know about this little thing on the side of the phone here. This little silencing thing that matters too. Um, I'm 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 not exactly sure how it happens, but I do know that if you drop volume but you don't flip that little switch, your phone might still possibly make sound. I don't know if it has to do with when you get a phone call or what, but those two are the more obvious things that I think people are aware of. A lot of times people will drop the volume to zero, but they won't flick that little tab and their phone will still go off. So the next one that really catches a lot of people off guard, I see this all the time, even attorneys, alarms. People will have alarms on their phone and they'll have it all silent, volume down. Your phone doesn't care. Your phone sees, oh, alarm, and just starts blaring, just blaring in court, full bore. There are two ways to deal with this. Number one is you can make sure there's no alarms when you go to court. But there's another way. You can go into your alarms, and if you know that certain alarms have a possibility to maybe go off in the middle of court, you can go in there and change it so that your alarm only vibrates, doesn't make any noise. That's typically how I deal with it. My other alarms, like weekend alarms, early morning, evening alarms, I just leave them with, to make noise. It makes sense why they program the phone to do this. I get it. People make their phone silent, turn the volume down, but they need to go to work or something. Your phone's going to ignore all that stuff and just start going off so you can wake up. I get why they do that. I just think obviously they didn't imagine, what about lawyers who are going to court or litigants who are going to court? And so we weren't thought about. Our phones just go off in court and make everyone upset, because a lot of times people think you didn't turn your volume down. You did, and your phone just didn't care and it went off. So the one that gets people a lot also is the alert system. A lot of the alert stuff can be controlled, and I believe is safe to do so. Like there's the test alarm. Like there's a setting in your phone where you can tell it to not do those test alerts, or you can tell it to not make noise. That's typically what I do. I go into the, I don't know what they call it, government settings or something, government alerts. Just Google it. You guys will find it. And you can tell it to only make noise under certain circumstances. You can tell it to go silent or just not even alert you at all. Um, my opinion is, if this was a life and death situation, they would not give us the option to do this in our phone. Some people might not agree with me, but hey, it's a setting in my phone. So I'm going to do what I want with it. I'm in the courtroom a whole lot recording stuff. I don't want that thing going off. And it does go off, and it does drive the court crazy, because then usually everyone's goes off. Hopefully this video is useful to people who are trying to make sure that their phone does not go off. Those are all of the things that I learned from my own phone going off when I first started to do all the R Nevada judges stuff, and an alarm would go off or a government alert would go off, or I would forget to flip the little switch down. Also, you guys be cognizant that certain apps will override your settings. Facebook and YouTube are pretty safe. If you got your stuff set to mute, Facebook and YouTube won't make noise. But there are other chat programs that will. I'm not sure if Signal's one of them or not, but I know for sure that the one I use on Amazon will make noise. And I tested it. I didn't actually go off in court. But yeah, some of the apps, you can have your phone locked down, and then that particular app, you open it up and it just slides the volume all the way up and starts making noise. Um, Another thing is phone calls. Even if you have all your stuff set to silent, if you actually answer a call, it will start making noise. It just ignores whatever. If you silented it and dropped the volume, it just ignores it and flips it all on and starts making noise. So there are still certain things you should be careful with doing. I think video games are okay. I haven't heard of anybody complaining about that. They don't make noise. But yeah, this is just something for people to be aware of. I know a lot of people don't like to be embarrassed in the courtroom by their electronic devices going off. Oh, I didn't talk about laptops. So, okay, this is another trick that I have for laptops. I drop the volume all the way to 1 or 2%, as low as I possibly can, and then I put it on mute. The reason why is if you accidentally hit the mute button, instead of it going from mute to 100% volume, it'll go from mute to 2% volume. So you're safe. It's a small thing. It's all you really have to do with laptops. I don't think that there's as much to worry about with laptops as there are with phones. There's a whole lot of stuff going on in that phone. And it's with laptops, if you just follow that simple rule of thumb, you'll be safe. So just drop volume all the way to 1 or 2% and then put it on mute. You should be completely safe with your laptop. If you guys have any questions, feel free to post it down in the comments below. And disclaimer, I don't have an Android. So Android people, if there's something that you know about that's an extra whatever, put it down in the comments below. Maybe I'll pin your comments so that other people with Androids don't have their phone go off in court. All right.